Hello, this is Celeste, and this is my student teaching midterm update. Reflection of my student teaching thus far regarding classroom management. I feel as if I have established some good community rapport with my students, and something that's really helped me do this is the fact that I greet my students by their name at the door every day. And I have also continued some of the procedures and norms that my guide teacher has already implemented with his students. And also using techniques to gain students' attention. For example, my guide teacher, he has a singing bowl. So I'm able to use this and get students' attention by ringing the singing bowl 3 times, and students are able to, hear this noise, and they know already to stop what they're doing and listen for any reminders before we clean up. As for teacher with itness, this is something I feel like I'm continuously improving upon. I'm able to navigate my classroom freely and, make sure I'm stopping anything before it starts regarding behavior. I'm just always aware of what's going on in the classroom. As for lesson planning, I feel as if I have improved on the flow of lessons in regards to planning, pacing, organization, and transitions. So I feel like it's been very helpful to finally actually teach what I am planning, because before I was just, seeing these things on paper, but implementing them is a whole other story. So now that I'm getting more comfortable with actually teaching these lessons, I feel like I am able to transition much more effectively than I was at the beginning. So this is something that I have been reflecting upon as of lately, very much. Also assessing learning. So I'm able to monitor student progress and interact with my students continuously throughout the day, throughout the period. So for example, when they're working on an activity, I make sure to check in on students, make sure that they are staying focused, staying on task, and I also make sure that my students know that I'm there for them, and that they can ask me if they have any questions or if they need any help, that I'm there to help them. Also, the use of technology, this has been a little bit challenging for me, just because our school students don't have a 1-to-1 ratio, so they don't have access to their own device, like a Chromebook or an iPad. So I've just been kind of working with what we have, which is just a television, and we're able to project the laptop to the television. So I use it daily to project the daily agenda for the day that students are able to take a look at as they enter class, which they can see the lesson for the day, any materials that they may need, any upcoming homework or assessments like tests or quizzes. Also, the essential question and the standards that we'll be hitting that day are all projected on the TV. So I like to at least use technology in that sense. So what I've been thinking about lately or reflecting upon lately are what other ways I can implement technology, since we are kind of so limited. So this is something that I've been reflecting upon a lot lately, just because I want to really engage my students, and I feel like technology really has the power to engage students. So I've been trying to kind of work my way around that. As for collaboration with my guide teacher, I feel like collaboration has been going really well. My guide teacher is very supportive and helpful, and our class schedule, it really optimizes our collaboration time, because we're able to collaborate for a full prep period. So we have that full hour that we are working together. We're able to work together on any upcoming lessons and units, assessments, and, also just talk in general about education. And he's very helpful and supportive in the sense that he says I'm able to follow along with what he does, or he gives me the opportunity to implement things differently from him, or implement new strategies that I learn about. So I'm really thankful that he's supportive of me doing my own thing as well, and he's able to kind of be there to help me out if something were to happen, or he gives me some tips or advice about certain things, certain aspects of the lesson. So I'm very grateful for that. And we also have daily discussions on education, society, and life in general. So I'm really appreciative of all the wisdom he has to share with me, because he does know a lot just about education and, social science in general as well. So I'm really thankful for that. So our collaboration has been going really well. And moving forward to feedback from my university supervisor. So from round 1 of supervision, regarding classroom management, my supervisor, he stated that there was a very positive classroom environment, and we talked about the pacing and speed of talk. So I did talk a little bit fast when he observed me the first time due to nervousness, but he kind of gave me the pros and cons of that. So on one hand, a faster pacing of talk or speed of talk, it kind of makes students pay attention more because they're trying to, follow along with what's being said. But on the other hand, some students can kind of get lost in that. So he was just trying to make me aware of that. And that's something that I have worked, definitely improved upon since that observation. So I'm grateful for that. And he also stated that I'm very personable, respectful, and that I smile a lot, which was something that he was happy to see. So he stated that it's obvious she likes working with the students and they're responding to that positively. So I was very appreciative of that feedback. As for my second round of supervision regarding lesson planning and planning instruction, he stated that my transitions are very smooth for this point in my student teaching. There were very few moments when students were not focused or on task. And he thought that there was an outstanding implementation of an AVID strategy, which was Cornell Notes. And he made note that the teacher not only teaches the students a skill that will prove invaluable in the coming years, but also gave the students an explanation of why it was important to them that they understood. So we debriefed and we talked a lot about this implementation of AVID strategies and the importance of implementing them at younger levels, such as 8th grade level, so that students are able to have this background knowledge when they get to high school and when they get to college, higher education, if they do. Then they'll be already kind of well versed in various AVID strategies, such as Cornell note-taking. So I was happy to get that feedback as well. As for strengths and areas for growth, so I would say that some of my strengths are rapport and positive language. So the fact that I've established some good rapport with my students already and that I really implement positive language and I try to stay positive and throughout teaching. And also my teacher with itness, which I mentioned before, as well as thoughtful sequencing and pacing. So in reference to the student teaching evaluation form, I would say that a lot of my strengths have to do with these areas, so establishing this rapport, teacher with itness, and the thoughtful sequencing and pacing of my lessons. So I hope to continue to build upon these strengths that I have as I continue to student teach. And as for areas for growth, also making reference to the student evaluation form, I would like to grow more in the areas of culturally relevant connections. So making a lot more connections with my students that are culturally relevant, implementing more culturally responsive techniques and strategies is something that I've been working on doing. I also would like to implement more restorative practices when disciplining students. So in regards to restorative discipline, I would like to work in this area and improve because this is something that has been a little difficult for me lately, trying to find that balance regarding discipline. So that's something that I definitely want to continue to grow in that area. And as for another area of growth, the use of student data to differentiate. So I have not been doing this much lately, but I know that my third round of supervision focuses on this area specifically. So I do look forward to really working in this area for the next couple of weeks to implement some type of assessment and then use the data collected from that assessment to differentiate a future lesson for my third live observation. So this is another area for growth for me since I haven't really been focusing on that much. So I also hope to build upon these various aspects of student teaching and grow in these areas as well. Thank you.